President Obama says he's mulling a range of candidates, all of which are outstanding, to replace Ben Bernanke atop the Federal Reserve. The decision will come in the fall. Here to talk about that decision is Peter Schiff. He's the CEO of Euro Pacific Capital. Great to have you back on Breakout, Peter. So all outstanding candidates, you know, Janet Yellen, Larry Summers, both outstanding, but there's others. What are your thoughts on this, and what kind of a person needs to lead the Fed?
I disagree with your characterization as the candidates being outstanding. You know, I think we need a much broader list. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that, and I think it's going to amount to more of the same. You know, I've been talking about the choice between Yellen and Summers as you know, being asked to choose your method of execution. You know, do you prefer the guillotine or do you want a firing squad? You know, I think the U.S. economy is in trouble regardless of who President Obama chooses, because I think it's going to be more of the same policies that have brought the country to the brink of economic ruin, and I think it's those policies that are going to push us over the edge.
Now, I'm just guessing, but you would like somebody to come in there and basically move to shut down the Federal Reserve or start all over again, but that's really not going to happen. Who actually could, in your mind, Obama pick that would be an excellent choice?
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, he could pick me. You know, he's not going to do that. Or he could pick somebody who has an understanding of economics. I mean, I'm not the only one that knows what needs to be done. But he has to pick somebody that has the integrity to do the right thing. Unfortunately, nobody like that is on the short list or even the long list. You know, there are people out there that know what the economy needs. What we need is higher interest rates, sound money. We need to force the U.S. government to dramatically reduce its borrowing and its spending. And the only way to do that is with higher interest rates. We also have to curtail the excess speculation on Wall Street, the excess consumption on Main Street. We need to reward savings again. We need to have more investment in capital, plant, and equipment to really grow the economy. But we're not going to get any of that so long as we have a Fed chairman who's complicit in what the government is doing to continue to subsidize big government and excesses all across the country in order to avoid the pain of doing the right thing.
Well, how does a Fed chief who's, you know, complying with the dual mandate keep government spending under control, other than, you know, excoriating the members of Congress?
The mandate it needs to keep under control is a sound currency to preserve the value of our money. That's the real mandate. And if it follows that mandate, then we'll have prosperity, we'll have lots of job creation, lots of economic growth. It's when they try to fine-tune the economy by playing around with interest rates and money supply that we have big problems in the economy. So the Fed is undermining its real mandate by trying to subsidize the growth of government and excess speculation on Wall Street and consumption on Main Street. So if it really did stick to the original purpose of the Federal Reserve, we would have legitimate prosperity. It's not doing that. That's why the economy is suffering. That's why it's going to suffer so much more in the future.
So granted that you will be unhappy with no matter who Obama picks as the next Fed chairman, let's just say for a point of an argument here that it's Janet Yellen, the consensus favorite, and also the Democrats have even lobbied and said, please, not Larry Summers. They wrote a letter to the White House. What do you think about Janet Yellen? You think it's going to happen?
Well, look, I do think of all the choices, Yellen is probably the worst of the bunch. I mean, although it's hard to say, but if Obama likes her and if Congress likes her, that's probably good enough for me that she's probably the worst. And since the president is generally going to make the worst choice if left, to his own decision, then it's probably going to be Yellen. And yes, she's probably going to be more likely to want to keep on printing and printing, and that's what's going to happen. And I don't see her doing the right thing at any point until there's been complete, economic implosion. There's a free fall in the dollar. Long-term interest rates are spiraling. We're in, a economic contraction by every measure, far worse than anything we experienced in the last recession. Only then, with the economy on its knees, might Yellen ultimately be persuaded to do the right thing. But I don't think she'll do the right thing at all before that point is reached.
I'm already looking forward to our next segment on who the next Fed chief is with Peter Schiff, as always, from Euro Pacific Capital.